You guys, she'll love it too. Philly Godfather, what's going on, brother?
Out here on the Ponderosa, like the Cartwright family. You got Haas, little Joe, trying to make it happen. Little tequila action, living it up, baby.
Yeah, see, he has a happy hour. Guess what he's pouring in happy hour, huh?
Patron.
That's right, Patron.
Yeah, it's the best, man. I love it.
So you're not an 1800 guy like the couch guy who brought some 1800 with a coconut the other day, man.
Yeah, look at Robin just giving
I know.
me
I was like looking at couch guy, going, "Where's my 1800 coconut?"
I'm supposed
now?
to come strapped with alcohol now,
Come on,
too.
man. Philly Godfather, I know you've been firing this week, man. Couple of strong days.
Well, yeah, and who you like tomorrow in the playing game? Portland, I think, is a 6-point favorite.
Man, it's a lot of points, but you got to love Portland. I mean, I think I saw some odds for Memphis just to win one game. It's Portland's minus 255. To win both, they're minus 1,300. So I think Portland gets it done. I think they get into the playoffs.
But they haven't been blowing people out, though.
Yeah, even though Dame's been going off. Yeah, the games have been averaging like they've been. You know, you would think with the guy dropping 61 and 52, and he only had 34 last night, but some unbelievable
42.
42. I'm
42.
sorry, and yet they still only win. They barely win that game. Yeah. And give the Nets credit because the Nets want to get ready for their first playoff game next week. So they played this as it was a real game against a real team. So as bad as the Nets have been and they don't have their players there, Carl Levert and those guys, I want to give them credit because they're players. They're going to go out and play hard, man, and that's what the Nets did last night. I guarantee you a lot of people were all over the Portland Trailblazers and lost their asses. Did they not?
Yeah, that was a high line, too. I think it was a double-digit line. But Brooklyn rebounds real well, and Portland is not one of the better rebounding teams. So the matchup was there. And like you said, if Dame went off for 50, well, then they probably would have covered the spread. But they held him nice. But regardless, he's been on fire. This Portland team is dangerous. If they play the Lakers in the playoff, look for that series line to be anywhere from minus 375 to minus 400. But at that pace and with that type of offense, you know, the Lakers don't put up a lot of points, but they are the better rebounding team. I mean, you got LeBron on there. So at 375, 400, I'm not looking to lay the price, but anything can happen.
I'd take Portland. I mean, the Lakers are not a good three-point shooting team, and they don't defend the three very well.
Yeah, I mean, they're begging for Portland money. You know, you're going to take back plus 325, plus 350 maybe, depending on where that line is, depending on how Dame plays in the next game against Memphis. If he lights up for 60, well, that price will be a little bit shorter based on public perception. But, yeah, I mean, they got a shot against the Lakers. I got futures on the Lakers at 20-1, and I'm looking to hedge. I think the Clippers are the much stronger team in that conference.
I do too.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Now it's going to count because, I mean, they're playing games today which made obviously they had to play them out. But you talk about getting people they'll put cardboard cutouts in there, and they don't even have those in the NBA bubble.
Because if cardboard cutouts get hurt, it doesn't hurt your lineup.
They should bring the WNBA chicks in there to just finish these games that don't matter anymore, man. That's what they had to do. The bubble's over. They had 66 scrimmages, 80 seeding games, and the matchups are all set now, and that was good. The Sixers tonight, is anybody going to bet on that game or even bother watching
Who
that
do they
game?
have, Houston?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not touching that game. This Sixers team's in serious trouble. They're going to play, Boston?
Yep.
They're probably a 3-1 underdog in that series. And unless Embiid comes out and plays like Wilt Chamberlain and sets the world on fire, I can't see them beating Boston here. Big Ben, losing Big Ben was massive. So I'm looking at the game to slow down a little bit. I'm looking to play maybe the under. I'm waiting for that total to come out in that game one. Taking care of the ball is going to be huge in this series. Turnovers are going to be magnified. Just Brad Stevens has owned Brett Brown. And even though the Sixers, I think they beat them 3 out of 4 this year, this is the playoffs. This is a team without Big Ben. It's going to be a tough road.
How do you call him Big Ben? The guy can't shoot, Philly Godfather. Come on, man. The last Big Ben in this town was Franklin, and he's been dead for 200 years.
Yeah, I mean, but he could still play. He pushed that pace. He always had the defense on their heels, and he can't shoot that three. But he's an amazing talent. So losing him is big. You got Tatum, you got Kemba, you got Jaylen Brown, a bunch of shooters on that Celtics team, and they rebound real well. I think the best 3 rebounding teams in the bubble so far has been Milwaukee, Toronto, and the Celtics. So watch out for the Celtics team. You can probably grab them at plus 500 to win the Eastern Conference. They match up real well against Milwaukee. Milwaukee, to tell you the truth, I think the conference is wide open between Toronto, Miami, Boston, and Milwaukee, you know.
Now, breaking news on this Portland Trailblazers series. Our good buddy AJ in San Antonio checks it. He says, maybe the Blazers can have the Portland Rioters light the NBA bubble on fire. Give them a chance to win that series, Harry. I agree. I mean, listen, I like Portland. I love Dame. And everybody thinks this is going to be an unbelievable series. I hope it is. But, don't sleep on the Lakers. You know me, I'm no Laker honk. Mm-hmm. But I think everybody's all, because they thought it was going to be Memphis against the Lakers, and Portland did what they had to do. I mean, to me, you think this is going to be a competitive series?
I think if they can steal any game, it's game one because they've been playing at an elevated level. It kind of reminds me of like when the Sixers played the Lakers with AI in that game one of that series where they were plus 800 to win that first game, and they beat them, and then the Lakers took care of business. So it's going to be something like that. If you're going to look to bet the Portland Trail Blazers here, I would bet them on the money line. Game one, they could sneak out with a victory, but the Lakers are just too good to lose a series.
All right, by the way, I had that lob. I was there in L.A. on the floor. If you go back and look at the tapes of Game 1, I was there at Staples Center on the floor.
Right next to Jack?
Right next to Jack, and I was there telling everybody, I guaranteed it on the air in Los Angeles, that the Sixers would beat the Lakers in Game 1 of that series. I didn't guarantee anything after that, but I said they would win that game outright, and they did, Harry. And they had a parade for me outside of Staples Center after that selection.
Exactly.
Back in the day, man.
All right, I want to get to some hockey, but I do have to ask you about that first-round series that I'm really interested in, the Miami Heat against the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, I think Jimmy Butler, you got Adebayo, just a bunch of solid young role players on the Miami Heat team. Eric Spoelstra, he's got a lot of, experience
He's
in the
a
playoffs.
good coach.
Great coach.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be enough to beat the Pacers there. Yeah, what's that, Harry?
So's Nate McMillan, though. They're both well-coached teams.
He's a solid coach, but Miami's defense, I think, is just too much for him. It's one of the cheaper series prices out of all the series in the NBA. I think Miami's 2-1 there. It might have went up a little bit. I just think Miami's the better team, better defensive team, and I think they take care of business. And you got to remember, Oladipo, he's not 100%. He's not the player that he was yet. Maybe next year when he's perfectly healthy. But as of right now, I think the Miami's the team to beat.
Interesting story on this. Yankees obviously are playing great, and there's no doubt about it, the best team in the American League, maybe in all of baseball. But Garrett Cole, he's obviously 3-0. Do you realize he's going for his 20th consecutive win tonight as a pitcher?
Wow.
That's unbelievable to go for 20 consecutive decisions. 20 straight wins in 20 consecutive decisions, Harry. That's incredible, man.
Boy, the Heat are minus 400 in that series.
They're up to 4. They opened up minus 215.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here at minus 400.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, there's some real sharp money on Miami there. You got some veterans like Iguodala and Crowder. They're going to play a huge role. Like you said, Spoelstra.
Yeah.
He's a solid coach.
He's the best Filipino coach in the NBA. You can guarantee that right now. Lock that in. Right, Robin? Eric Spoelstra, the best Filipino coach in the NBA.
Absolutely.
Where'd you get that price at, Harry? Minus 400?
I'm just looking at it from here, Bovada. I got an email from those guys.
Hey, Bo.
Yeah.
What's DraftKings have it as, Harry?
I got to look that on my phone.
Come on, man. Philly Godfather joining us. Yankees minus 335 tonight. And the Red Sox, let's be honest, they're not good, Philly Godfather. They're not good.
No, their pitching's bad. Their bullpen might be worse than the Phillies, who's...
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Come on, man.
Stop.
Come on.
No, it's not.
Close, man. Philly's bullpen is bad. It's so wide open. I mean, that bullpen is... But you know what? The NL East is wide open. If you look at the odds to win the division, every team in the NL East you can grab plus money on. Whether it's the Braves, whether it's the Mets, the Phillies, even the Marlins. I took a lottery ticket on the Marlins last week at 100-1 to win the division. And they got a shot. I mean, the Braves lose Soroka, their ace pitcher. Their Vegas season projected win totals was set at 33 before this season started. So he's worth at least 4 or 5 wins to that Atlanta Braves team. This is going to be a year where a sub-500 team in the NL East might win the division.
I don't know about that. You think so?
Wow.
Really? I mean, don't sleep on the Marlins, though. And by the way, the best team in the National League East is the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, they're spanking the Orioles. They're spanking the Nationals. And, boy, the Nationals, they better enjoy that World Series championship because that is not the same team. You see Max Scherzer got thrown out of the game? No, it was who was it that got thrown out of the game sitting in the stands on Thursday night?
I don't know.
It was who was the MVP last year? for the Nationals.
Strasburg?
Yeah, Steven Strasburg was sitting in the stands
He
and
got
arguing
tossed?
balls and strikes.
Is that
and
right?
got tossed by the home plate umpire
Wow.
sitting in the stands.
That's awesome.
Now he's on the hill again today for them, I believe.
Who's Strasburg?
Yes.
Well, he
Yeah.
wasn't pitching. He was sitting in the
Yeah,
stands.
no,
last
no.
night.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
You know what the Marlins got to do to win the division? They got to win 50% of their remaining games against teams with a combined winning percentage of 46%. They might win the division with 31 wins on the season.
Wow. That would be crazy.
By the way, the Cleveland Indians activated pitcher Zach Plesac and Mike Clevenger from the restricted list and then optioned them to the alternative trading site. So Plesac is the guy who won a game for him. He was an up-and-coming young guy.
He was their fifth starter.
Yeah, he's their fifth, and he wins a game, and then he goes and parties in Chicago. Then he gets pissed off because they were saying, how can you do that? And now all of a sudden they just sent him and Mike Clevenger down to the alternative training site.
I don't get it.
It's an outrage.
Clevenger was their number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Philly Godfather. How about
was he invested in any of the hockey today?
I don't know. Were you in? Now, the Flyers, obviously, they had to be underdogs today, and they got smoked by the Montreal Canadiens. That doesn't surprise you, does it?
I mean, I took a flyer on them at 11-1 about a month ago. I think they're down to 6-1 to win the whole thing. I mean, I'm not no Jason Martinez, but, I watch a little bit of hockey, man. I got some futures on ice,
Now, I know you're all your boys out there, the college kids. And
Flyers were favored.
Flyers were favored today?
Yeah.
Wow.
Minus 148 on DraftKings.
Wow.
Today. Yeah.
But I got to tell you, man, I said this before the season started. As Miami, the Marlins don't look good on paper. Everybody thought they'd be bad. But the one thing we saw when they took 2 out of 3 from the Phillies before everything went to hell with Miami and St. Louis, this team scraps, man. They know that they're better than people think they are. And so they've got this chip on their shoulder, and they've been playing really, really well, man. I mean, look what they did the other night. They gave up, 18 hits and 7 home runs against the Blue Jays and still won that game in extra innings, man.
Yeah, and they scored 17 runs against the Phillies in that first 3-game series they had. They're pitching. They got some young arms. Their bullpen's okay. Just their offense is a little weak, a little dry, other than Anderson and who's the other guy? Aguilar?
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough to put up some runs some nights, but they got a chip on their shoulder. I mean, you never know. This is the type of year where strange is the norm and anything can happen. So that's why I nibbled on that lottery ticket at 100-1. I think it's got a shot.
Now, is it a safe bet that the Houston Astros will not win a World Series this year? I mean, they are really having a tough time. Jose Altuve's batting in the low 100s. I mean, he's struggling out there. The Houston Astros have been a disaster area so far.
Yeah, the Oakland A's are the team you got to watch out for, man. They're putting up runs, they're scoring. They're not letting up many runs. I think they got the 3rd best run differential in Major League Baseball right now. It's just that's their division this year. I'll be shocked if they don't win that division by at least 10 games.
Yeah, they're plus 20 right now, but you look at the Twins are plus 33.
Plus 33.
And then the Dodgers are plus 51 now, Harry.
Wow.
Plus 51, the Dodgers.
Yeah, and they're not even in first place.
And I know Colorado, that's another team.
I like
that a lot of
Colorado.
people- I do, and the Padres give them credit too.
the
Man. I know
Padres-
they've lost 2 in a row to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers smashed them the last couple of days. But
No, but they're assembling a nice team.
I totally agree with you, man. That National League West, there's 3 good teams: Colorado, the Dodgers, and San Diego, man.
Well, the New York Yankees took a hit today on their title hopes. Prior to today's game, they've optioned Aaron Judge to the 10-day IL with a right calf strain.
No.
Giancarlo Stanton and
then
Judge
Aaron
out.
Judge, dude.
Man.
It's an outrage.
ESPN had a front page. He is the face of baseball, and he is great. Was he been hanging around Giancarlo Stanton too
I
long?
think they've been doing too many calf raises together, and now all of a
Wow,
sudden those things
man.
snap.
How
Yeah.
about that?
It's ridiculous.
It might be those vitamins they're taking because the same thing happened last year. I think they missed about 78 games combined last year, both those players. So, man, that's a tough hit to them because without them in that lineup, I mean, it's going to be hard to manufacture runs. Their pitching obviously has been upgraded, and last year I think they hit 306 home runs. While both those guys missed 78 games. So it's going to be the Tampa Bay Rays can pitch.
Watch out for Tampa.
Yeah,
Exactly.
don't sleep on the Rays, man. Don't sleep. And the Baltimore Orioles are 10-7 for God's sake.
Yeah, I think that's kind of flimsy though.
I don't know, Harry. The one thing about baseball,
they beat the Phillies.
They swept the Phillies.
Yeah,
they destroyed the Phillies. Jesus.
Who's your team, Harry, in the NL East?
For this year, I would think.
I'm still going with the Braves.
I'm going to go with the Braves, even though they lost Soroka, which is a horrible loss. I'll stick with the Braves.
Yeah, they're the team to beat. But in a short, abbreviated season,
anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Yeah.
Can I quote you on that? Anything can happen in a short abbreviated. Let me write this. When you play 60 games, Harry,
anything can happen.
And you got 16 teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now, what about MMA this weekend? I know you got MMA people there, Philly Godfather, who are all over it, man. We got a big one tomorrow night.
Yeah, I didn't take nothing yet. I wait for my buddy Joey Odessa. He's down in Costa Rica at MMA Odds. He's our specialist. We do a pregame show on Twitch, UFC pregame show every Saturday. We give out a lot of selections. We talk about the market report. We got Dave Mason from BetOnline. He comes on. He tells you, which way the public's betting, the bet splits, the ticket percentages. So that's when we usually give out information.
Now, how about that MMA pregame show action?
Nice on Twitch.
Now, on Twitch with the Philly God. What's the Twitch show called now?
Follow the Money Podcast.
It's the Follow the Money Podcast on Twitch.com. I know I was supposed to pop on with you, but I had to go to get an MRI the other night. But I'm going to pop on the Philly Godfather Podcast, I believe, next week, right?
Yeah, it's blowing up. Downloaded in over 50 countries, all 50 states. I think they even listen to us in Liechtenstein, one of the smaller countries out there. But we're doing real well with it. John Layfield, we got the coach on there. This past week, we had Kaplan come on. We're just waiting for you, Tone.
I need to go on. I'm about to anoint the sports season now that we got football coming. We got baseball. Right. We got hockey. We got NBA playoffs.
The coach, Henry Racich?
No, not that coach, Henry. Not the self-proclaimed best coach.
Okay.
Not the best self-proclaimed coach in Montgomery County, Henry Racich. Come on, Harry. Liechtenstein. I knew a couple chicks from there. They were hot, man. You know what I'm saying? Mark Jackson said yes, he would hit them.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt about it,
A couple of figure skaters, I think, right?
Liechtenstein.
That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
All right, now,
right.
how are you? I saw that a couple of the casinos and the sports books were taking college football off the board.
Yeah, I haven't touched it yet. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we're all hearing the same information. SEC, ACC is going to play. But, I'm not touching. I'm pumping the brakes on all college football action as of right now.
Is that right? Wow.
Even Boston College, when they had 792 tests and only one positive result up there in what was it, Chestnut Hill?
Chestnut
Hill, Massachusetts, BC. One positive test of all the players, coaches, athletic department staff, and that person who tested positive has recovered fully.
Good.
And that's what we want to hear.
They had a lot of positive results when Whitey Bulger was handing off some envelopes with that Boston College scandal.
Hey,
that is great Boston point shaving knowledge right there, PG.
That was long before my friend Pat Kraft took over the athletic department.
Yeah, Harry's high on BC now because his buddy Pat Kraft
I got to get
there.
some swag.
Any relation to the great Jack Kraft, right?
No, I don't think so.
No relation to Jack Kraft? Come on, Harry. Wow. Now, you got anything on the Johnsonville Cornhole League, people are wondering? Because that's what I've been watching on the weekends, Harry. The Johnsonville.
Nothing on that. We don't have a cornhole specialist, but I'm definitely looking for one.
Bags.
Yeah.
Bags, Harry. When you throw bags. Remember, you and I were out there doing bags with the great, what's her name from Temple? Maslany.
Oh, Danielle.
Danielle Maslany. We're out there up in Oaks throwing bags last year. Remember that, Robin?
Yes.
A lot of fun, man.
She's cool.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
She really is, man. She's really
We need to put you in touch with Danny Dow down in Florida. He is a cornhole specialist.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Well, Philly Godfather, it's always great to have you on the show, man. And then again, the podcast is?
Follow the Money Podcast.
Follow the Money, yo.
Who's your golf guy?
Coach is on there, but I'm waiting for you, Harry. You're the main man. You're the sharpest of the sharp.
Yeah,
I know.
Anytime the moves align with Harry Mays, I unload.
Yeah, I was on Harris English this week. He's doing pretty.
How's he doing, Harry? He didn't slam the trunk today, right?
No.
Brooks Koepka slammed the trunk at the Wyndham.
He's tied for fourth.
Couch Guy is upset that he was not suggested as the
Couch Guy just best top 20 guy. Now, he did have Colin Morikawa last week, and he got the bonus on DraftKings, 30% bonus, Philly Godfather. Got to give this kid some love, man.
Yeah, give him some love.
He's done a nice job, but he doesn't have the long history track record.
Exactly. He's a Johnny-come-lately.
Yeah.
I've seen many flashes in the pan, Tony.
He's a young whippersnapper.
Exactly. Got to build the bankroll first.
Yeah,
exactly.
Build the bankroll. He knows all the.
Build the bankroll, man. Get money, bro.
You might want to get him signed up with the animals.
Yeah, exactly. I can take on another internship for all the money.
We'll call him the squirrel.
Yeah, the squirrel.
And by the way, he went to Rowan right down the street from you there, Philly Godfather, over there in the Glassboro area.
We got to get together, man. We got to get together. If you guys looking to bet a baseball game tonight, I laid 120 on the Rangers. Lance Lynn will win. This Colorado Rockies team has been red hot, and they're putting up a lot of runs. But against Lance Lynn, they've only hit 2 home runs against them lifetime in 95 at-bats. I like the Rangers tonight, minus 120.
Wow, how about that pick, Harry? Going off the board. Nobody's looking at the Colorado Rockies and the Texas Rangers. Even in Texas, they're not looking at the Texas Rangers.
Nice.
But going off the board, what's the plus on that now? They're plus 121?
So you're laying 20 cents on the Rangers. I mean, all the squares are going to be all over Colorado with how hot they've been, how they looked, and I think they're going to get burnt tonight.
The Texas Rangers, baby. Now they're playing. Are they in Colorado or are they in Texas?
They're in Colorado.
You know that rarefied air up there, man, the humidor and all the balls in the humidor and all that other stuff, man. There you have it right now. The Philly Godfather giving you an MLB pick, and you can check him out on Twitter at Philly Godfather. And then, of course, is it the Philly Godfather?
Yeah, both go to the website, thephillygodfather.com and phillygodfather.com.
Beautiful, man. Let me give him a roaring round of applause. That's awesome. And by the way, this late question now, asking for a friend, did the Flyers play today?
Not really.
Nah, they just showed up in Toronto. Had a couple of Tim Hortons.